people go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Griggs. This is another great interview that we're going to do today for you. It's part of our winner's circle from Team Win. Super
Yes.
excited to do this in a very casual setting. I am up in Lake Arrowhead, and you look like you are in Hawaii or Costa Rica, Jordan.
So
Where
this is Costa
I'm
Rica,
calling
zooming
it
in from
Wednesday.
Costa Rica, and it's really great. Had a great day on the water, got some surfing in, went a little fishing, sunbathing in the nude. And so now I'm back here through a shirt and a hat on. I'm ready to do this interview with you, Lisa. This is great.
Keep it clean, my friend. Keep it clean. So, is there nude beaches in Costa Rica? I do not know. I know there are
I
some in
think I may have
Hawaii.
just created one, but hey, we are pioneering leaders, Lisa. It's what we do. We make things happen out of nowhere.
We do. We are definitely pioneering leaders. So you came into my life about, well, years ago, but we didn't really know each other. And I mean, we kind of knew of each other. I think we probably
Let's
crossed.
let's set the record straight on that, shall we? It
Okay.
wasn't that we didn't know each other. You didn't know me because I was too small. I knew you because you were a huge diamond with a massive downline, and you were like the sweetheart child of a $1 billion legacy company in our industry. And so I remember seeing you. What's it called? The Dolby Theater, I believe it's what it's called, out in California, where all the movie stars get their awards and so forth. And you trained on stage there. I saw you in some like different like breakout sessions before. We had another a mentor of both of ours. We were both part of the same group, and so you were always admired from a distance and afar. And so that's the true version of the story. That's like behind the scenes versions. You didn't know Jordan because Jordan's just a little dot. I was like a little zygote in your life, but here I am today, and here we are. Here we are, Lisa.
And now we're building this amazing family together. And I love it so much. And I want to thank you for just getting
Yeah.
back into this industry again. When you kind of came across my path recently, I was retired from the industry and I just really never thought I would get back into this industry ever again, just from like the things that I've seen, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I always thought that I would die with my boots on, at
Mhm.
that company that we met in. I just thought I would be there forever because I joined the company in 2011. I rebuilt my business 3 times. I had a big organization, over 50,000 people. I think I was in over 20 countries. So I just never thought I would leave there. And then when the company sold a couple of times and the compensation plan changed and different things like that, it just felt like I don't know, just kind of was burnt out. And I think I even mentioned that to you. It's like I love the industry, but I also was very challenged by it because I love the
Mhm.
people, but I
Mhm.
also, you know, am challenged with loving the people so much that I have to depend on the owners to do the right thing. So even if you're leading the best team ever, if you're not if you don't have the best owners, you have to still depend on them and you still have to depend on your leadership upline from you. So yeah, so I
Yeah.
thank you for just giving me this opportunity again to be at such an amazing company. Not it's been great.
It's so true what you were saying though. There's so many like factors that create, long-term company. And it's not just enough to if it was just as simple as us and the people, we'd still be where we started years ago. But there's a lot of variable factors in an ever-changing world in a marketplace. I know my first company that I was with them for 5 years, and I became really close friends with the owner of the company, and he became a very close, confident friend of mine. And I was to him as well. And I was just determined as a young early 20 something year old. I'm like, I will stay here forever. Like we'll ride this ship together. Like, what can't we do together? And but then it's like several bad decisions were made, and he ended up going bankrupt, and the company folded. And then made that transition to the company that you and I were both part of, and I was there for almost 6 years. I built for about 4 and was there for 6 years. And yeah, same thing. It's like there was a time in a season there when it seemed like this is a wave and a ride that will last forever. I just imagine what it would look like 30 years down the road. But then things change, people come in and things happen. And so it's like you have to be adaptable in this industry and just realize that when you do find something that has the key components together to really latch on hard to that, because this industry is so great. There's a lot of things that can be challenging to deal with. And so it's part of why I'm so grateful for the opportunity that we both landed today.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So you've been with the company a lot longer than I have. I'm kind of like the newer kid on the block. You've been with New You Life for 3 years now, right?
Mhm.
Did you have success right out of the gate? Because I feel like I'm like rusty when I first,
Yeah.
obviously you helped me a lot. You're still helping me greatly, but seemed rusty, like almost like getting back on a bicycle again. It just seemed very I don't know, like I was off and I was like, gosh, you even reminded me of some old calls that I had to listen to. And I was like, where's that girl? I want to run with her. Like, I don't even
Mhm.
sound like myself. So was right when you got in, did you like take off right away or?
So it was interesting when I first got in and decided to go. It was the hardest thing. Like my first few months, it wasn't like a few days or a few weeks, it was a few months. Um, it was really, really tough because it was more like my own internal pressure that I put on myself because I thought, okay, I've been out of the industry for a few years. The people that the person that recruited me, right, our master distributor, he knew me and what I was doing in the previous company and the success that I was having, and in my mind, I'm like, well, he expects me to do the same thing and more. So I felt like other people's like expectations of me and myself was really high. And then I got in, and it's just like an athlete who's been sitting on the couch for 2 years. It's like they have that natural DNA and greatness inside, but they're kind of soft and mushy. They're a little out of whack, like with being out of shape. So I felt literally as a professional networker, as a builder, as a business guy, I was out of shape. And just with my mindset, with my communications, with it's like it was there, but I couldn't quite pull it out. And so yeah, so to answer your question, it's a long answer. No, I did not have fast success. I wasn't one of those come on, explode in the first 90 days, just left. No, it was struggle, 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 self doubt, struggle. Can I even do this? Do I even have what it takes? Maybe it's not for me anymore. Maybe that was the thing in my past. Maybe I move on to a new chapter of my life, and this is what I'm not supposed to be doing. All this kind of stuff for the first several months of me in the business. And then kind of had a shift. It was just some mindset shifts, just kind of that freedom of saying, I'm not going to be one foot in, one foot out. I'm not going to wonder. I'm not going to try to impress anybody else. I'm going to do this for me. And if I'm going to be here, I'm not going to waste my life being here 70 or 80 or 90% because that's the way to get nowhere. And then you just create this self like deprecation and your confidence gets eroded when you're not fully committed to something. I made a full commitment. It was actually I was visiting my uncle and his family. We having a little bit of a family reunion down in Florida, in Jupiter, Florida, and it was out like on the water one night. I'm like, okay, like this is either I'm going to do this fully or I'm not, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that's in the company for years and years as it doesn't do anything. And so that really made a huge shift. And when I came back, Lisa, from that trip, it was like things started to shift. People started to respond to me. Like I felt myself getting stronger again, getting confident again. I just was showing up differently. It wasn't like wavery. It was with more of a certitude. And because I was showing up that way, the people were responding to me differently. And then people started coming. I started attracting a higher caliber leaders to join me, and then went on to have to build a substantial business.
So do you have this like huge pedigree, obviously, of, being in our industry for quite some time, even though you got out of it, then you got back in it and, kind of being a little rusty like myself, getting back into the swing of things. Do people still try to recruit you? Like to this day, even though, I mean, obviously you've reached, a significant position in the company, and you do this like it's your career, like it's mine as well. What like do people still try to recruit you? Like,
It's funny.
like what do you say to them when
Yeah.
they do? Like, are you recruitable? I guess.
So I'm not recruitable, and that even has been something that's evolved more in the last maybe year, I would say,
Mm,
where it's almost like I feel like, and I've talked to other legends in the industry that have been with companies for decades, like absolute decades. Some of my, I've a very small few of mentors that I really follow that, because for me, it's not about just going in and having a run, but like, can you be on something? Can you sustain for a long period of time?
right.
And and one thing is they said people don't try to recruit me because they just know I don't give off any vibe that I'm interested because I'm so focused and committed to what I'm doing. And I feel like it's gotten less and less as time's gone by. As my clarity and mission has gotten more clear here, I become less recruitable. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't have like an old friend from the past. I recently had someone that from our previous company that did very well. He's part of a new startup, and he threw me some information, but it's so rare and far between. I feel like maybe my first couple of years where it was like I felt like every week somebody was trying to get me on a Zoom or trying to like, hey, this might be a great fit for you. Oh, with your talent journey, you do here. I want to introduce you to the owner of our company. I mean, that was all the time, but now it's just like, you better watch out because I'm coming to get you, not the other way around.
So if they try to recruit you, then do you turn it around on them? Like just
No, listen, if someone's in the mode where they're recruiting hard, that means they're like in a focused space, then I try to respect that. Rather than being like, oh, let me listen to you and I'll waste an hour of my time listening to you and then let me flip it around and then do it. It's like, no, it's like, listen, whatever you're doing, for you to win there, you need to be focused, whatever the company is, and maybe where you're at is the best place for you. I'm not going to say that it's not. Maybe it's the best place for you. So I'm not going to waste, your time, and you're certainly not going to waste mine if we both know we're not going to be there. Now, it doesn't mean we can't from afar support each other, because I love people in the industry, because I think what we do is magical. And I love seeing other people succeed in the industry, even outside of our company. But in terms of giving a serious look at something, I'm not recruitable. I know I'm not going any place. I'm very clear in that. Therefore, I'm not going to entertain that idea with somebody else. And I wouldn't try to do that with them too. If I know someone's leading a group and they're in build mode, not going to happen. A good friend of mine here in Indianapolis, Lisa, he's with another company. He's been with them for a long time. He earns good money. And, do I think he could do well here? Of course, because I know where he's at, and it's antiquated compared to what we have. But it's like he's there and he's committed and he's driving and he's bringing people to their big convention down in Atlanta, Georgia next month, and all kinds of stuff. So it's like I've known him for 6, 7, 8 years now. We meet at least quarterly, if not monthly. I never try to recruit him in, and he doesn't try to recruit me. There's just too much respect there. That's kind of my whole viewpoint on that.
yeah, it kind of makes sense. So I know like when we first connected, I think we sort of we're kind of both, I think of us both as like anomalies because even though we're both single and we've had a lot of success in our industry, it's typically, I think the top money earners are more like partnered up. Couples are the top money earners. I want to ask you, like, I know that you talked about, it's important to have like the equation and the two, like in a binary, right? Because we were in a binary in our last company. Obviously, this is the binary. I think that the running partner dynamic is actually very important. This is the first time that I've had a running partner that I actually respected, that I actually am learning from. So I'm learning a great deal from you, even though I've had tremendous success in this industry. There's still a lot that I need to learn. And I think that you've been such a blessing in that way. Do you think that that's an important component, like in the whole, like, do you think it moves faster when you have partnerships or not? I mean, because I just came on like the last 5 months, but I see what's happening already. And I'm wondering if that has to do with powerful partnerships.
Yeah, I think powerful partnerships is key. I think the essence of our business is creating partnerships and locking arms with people and running. It's what makes us different than a traditional direct sales or a high ticket sales job, where it's like to make it big here, not just to make money. Okay, but if you want to make it big here, it's about developing an organization, and it's an organization of leaders. And to build leaders, you have to invest into people. So you're constantly looking for people that can match you, not necessarily with skill set, because it's actually, I think it's healthy to have partnerships that have different like avenues with their skill set, but they need to match you with ambition, with drive, with vision. And when you can get that together, when you can get two people running together, it's incredible. And so, yeah, I think like having a powerful partnership, it totally moves things faster, but you can find partners it doesn't have to be like a husband-wife couple or even a guy-girl couple, or like you and I are great friends, but we're also like, brothers and sisters in Christ. We both have huge vision. It's kind of like a match made in heaven, I feel like, and it creates a very attractive force and dynamic force that we can pull people into. But you can do it like anybody who wants to build. The idea is finding people that want to run with you.
Right.
Not finding just a bunch of people that want to follow you and, buy some product because you say so and so forth. But like, then you just have a group of followers and you're very, very capped. If you want to go really big, you need to find someone who you can run with, that you guys can push each other and stretch each other and and plus it makes this a whole lot more enjoyable. I use analogies and stories like all the time. And it's almost like when a person like wants to like get in shape, one of the greatest components for success is, can you find someone that wants to do it with you? Whether it's your husband or wife, whether it's a friend, like, hey, let's go on this 90-day, body transformation journey together. Because if you can find someone to do it with, then when you go through the tough times, the resistance, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give up this diet, or I don't feel like going to the gym. When you have that running partner, it's like, no, let's go. Your chance of success and accomplishing your fitness goals is so much higher. And it's the same thing in this business. When you can agree with someone that it creates that built-in accountability and drive. It's amazing. So again, long answer, but to answer your question, yes,
I
having
was
a running
thinking it's
culture is
like
good.
the agreement part or the accountability part. So I'm wondering if it's kind of both.
If
Um,
what now?
yeah, I wonder, well, you mentioned agreement, the power like of agreement of two people
Yeah,
being in agreement and actually running together. It seems like you get more momentum and more traction. And if the gifts are kind of complementing each other, in other words, maybe different skill sets, but those skills complement each other. I love how you said like ambition, drive, power.
yes,
There's certain vision.
like
There's
core values. Yeah,
right to like have those match up is super powerful because you could do it with a sibling, you could do it with a best friend, you could do it with like you said your partner, whatever, whoever it is. But I love the part that you said accountability too, because I think accountability is huge in this business because most people would just start and they would give up if they don't have like proper mentorship and someone really speaking into their life and they don't feel like they're a part of collective. Do you feel like
yeah,
that's a big part of it? Like they have to belong to a team? Because obviously, like when I first met you, the team culture that you had was really awesome. The people were really beautiful. Like everybody was so fun, high vibe. It seemed like a place I really could bring my friends and my family to and people that I love.
mhm,
I could just join them to what you were already doing. So I didn't have to go out and just create this whole new culture, that I would.
yeah. Well, I think, and that's part of it's part of the reason we put so much emphasis on culture. I mean, that was one of the things when I first got started. I was in a really tough place in my life, emotionally, spiritually, financially, was very, very depleted. And I remember at the time living in this nasty little single bedroom. I shouldn't say nasty because it's all comparative, but like
Hmm.
it was less of a place than I was used to living. Okay, we'll call it that. Single bedroom apartment. And I had a roommate and I was sleeping just on a mattress on the floor because I'm like, I don't want anything nice. I just want to work and get my life on track. And it was tough. And yet I remember being in that little apartment and pacing back and forth at night, thinking and visualizing what I wanted to create, what this could possibly be, to create an environment that which people could come and they could feel alive again. They could feel seen and heard, and they could feel like they were part of a community where they could grow and ultimately win. And that's kind of where this whole thing started, like team win. It's like, it's what we do. We do emphasis on team. It's not about any individual coming and being superstar, although like we tend to make those type of people because of the culture that we have. But it truly is this collective culture where if somebody wants it, if they have that ambition, if they have that drive, if they just want more, but they don't know where to go, they can come here and they can, have that environment where they can literally get lit. Or maybe they're not even sure if they want to do it, but they just happen to get in this environment and like, wow, look at Lisa Griggs, look at Veronica, look at Jocelyn, look at John. Like these people are doing it and they're having a great time doing it, and they're traveling, they're having a good time, they're sharing life together, they're laughing together, they're crying together, they're growing together. Like who doesn't want to be a part of that? And so that was the idea. And I'll tell you, like culture, I think is like one of the hardest things to create
Mm.
because it's so easy just to be like, oh, no need for culture, just focus on the selling and right on the numbers, right? Because it is hard and it's not instantaneous, but I think it's the most rewarding and it creates the most stickability. People will leave a product and people will leave a compensation plan well before they leave a team that makes them feel like they're part of a family. And when you can give people that type of a feeling where like, wow, like I'm part of this like team win family. This is like, they don't want to leave it. And it's just, I think it's evident in who we are and what we've been able to accomplish these last 3.5 years as a team. Yeah, we've had a rocky time. We've had our storms for sure. We've gone through our difficult times going through COVID, the whole thing. But there's a strong collective that's not going anywhere because they literally feel like it's an essential part of their life. They're part of a family that they feel like they're being poured into, and they're growing, and they get a lot of value here.
Yeah, I think that was something that I identified super quickly in coming up to Utah and meeting with your team, because I understand the power of culture. Like, to
Mhm.
me, culture is the currency of any
Yeah,
business.
that's
Okay. It
good.
doesn't even matter if you have traditional business and you have employees, or, you have a staff, or, I mean, everything is the culture. And I think that that's even in business, in any business. The reason why you would have any longevity is because you know how to create culture
Mhm.
within your business. And I think that's what makes really good CEOs versus really bad CEOs. They don't understand people and just creating that culture within people. So I think that is a powerful statement, because I didn't even really know about the product or the comp plan or any of that. I just knew, like, oh, this team is great, I want to be a part of this is fun. I can see myself here,
Yeah.
um, having a good time and making money at the same time.
Well, I think too, Lisa, that like, I mean, you've coming on and you've just taken our culture, you've elevated it to a different level by the sheer magnitude of your personality and just the largesse of who you are. And it's even made us more so of what we already are. And that's a beautiful thing. I think it's why we work together so well as partners, because that's very in aligned. And to speak into what you were saying, I mean, I've been on recent calls. I mean, some of the power hours that you do, and you hear the stories of people like, yeah, I'm in, whatever it is I'm in. There's so much excitement, there's so much love. I just want to be a part of it. I don't know about this. What is this weird hormone cream? Nat, I don't know what that is yet. You tell me about that later. Compensation plan. I'm sure I'll figure it out. But all I know is that this person's happy, and this person's happy, and this person's excited, and this person's loved, and this person's real, and this person's authentic, and this person has a story that I can relate to, and they all seem to love each other. In a world, in a community where people are more lonely than ever, and more disconnected than ever, and more lost than ever, it's like we address that specifically. Of course they want to be a part of this, and it's actually happening right now. It's actually happening. People are drawn to what we have. I think, yeah, it's just reiterating what you were saying. It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I think, thank you for saying that, by the way. That's a beautiful compliment. I think it was just taking what you had and then just trying to multiply that.
Hmm.
I think in multiplying that and realizing that, wow, I think like we could really build this to 1 million people. Like, I really think we could have an organization that large, because I see that people are taking on that vision as well. And so it's been a blessing. It's been a tremendous blessing. So, like, I know that I said, okay, I want to like shoot for this whole 1 million person family, global business everywhere. Talk to us about your vision and your like mission, because I know you're really big into mission.
Yes.
And I want you to like share with us, like, what did that look like before obviously Lisa Griggs came on the scene, comes alongside you and is like, oh my God, she wants to have 1 million person organization. Because I feel like it's important that we document this today, and then it was just verbalize it out there, because hopefully we'll look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and we'll be like, oh my God, we actually did it.
We're gonna
And
put it out there. Okay,
yeah,
so what we're gonna do, if you can, I don't want to say pause the recording. My computer's about to die. I should have had enough charge, but I'm not. So we're gonna have to cut this
okay,
out. Just saying. Let me
okay,
give me one moment. Sorry.
okay, you're fine.
All right.
Oh wait, hold on. Mute this. Okay, so we were talking about the 1 million person family army that we want to build here. And I was talking about how you already had something established when you got here, okay? And then I feel like I came and was wanting to multiply that, right? Because I didn't want to start a whole new culture, team culture. I
Yeah.
wanted to just come alongside your culture. And then, a couple weeks ago, a week ago, whenever it was, my days are running together. I started to say to you, oh my gosh, we both came from a 1 million-person organization. That's how we met. So I started to say, well, why couldn't we do it? Like, we should be able to build a 1 million-person organization here with New You Life. And so my question was, what is your mission and your vision with regard to that? Because when I started talking about it, you were already like, come on, let's go. We're going around the world. We're going to like build this whole business. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So maybe you could speak into that as far
Okay.
as what your mission is.
A few things I'll speak into. You said so much rich goodness. What can I say? The first thing is this is you talked about you came and it begins to multiply. Here's all that happened. The last 3.5 years have been laying a foundation. Okay. Very important, very crucial. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything. We have a strong core of people, but it's been laying the foundation. You come along, now we're making this skyscraper soar. Okay. So there's going to be a massive multiplication. I mean, it's already beginning to happen. You know that. It's going to start just to increase ever so rapidly with you coming here because you are a multiplier. It's one of your gifts. You're a multiplier, and we're going to build this thing to 1 million person. Now you say, 1 million person, that seems a little audacious, don't you think? Well, it's part of the beautiful thing of when you lead by example and you do something, other people will look at you and say, this can be done, as has happened to us. I don't know that if Teresa, or sorry, our previous person, we love you, Teresa Gregory, so much. Thanks for your example. If she would not have done that and gone before and built an organization of such magnitude, it may have seemed out of reach. But because she did it, then it's like, well, if she can do it, why couldn't you and I together do it? Because we're like, I mean, we're prime time right now, like why couldn't we go on a decade run and do the same thing? And so, yeah, I think you came along at the perfect time, not during the foundation stage so much, but now it's like, I'm here to multiply. Let's rock and roll. It's perfect. We both came, we spent some years in another company where we learned that it is possible if you do it right and you have the right things together and you have the right culture. It is possible to build a 1 million-person organization, and we're going to do that. And I think that another one of the driving factors is I love doing things that seem really hard, that seem impossible when others might be leaving. Just like, no, I'm going to lean in and go. And you look at our industry right now, and there's been some shifts happening and some shakeups, so maybe a little uncertainty, unlike years in past, and say, no, rather than back away, we're going to lean in and we're going to build it in a way that just quite frankly has not been done in a very long time, maybe bigger than ever before. And I think having that type of a vision and a mission, it inspires me every day to take massive action. Because if it was just like, hey, I'm here to hit a certain rank, it doesn't give me the juice and that vibe to just go. But it's like, no, it's not about just me hitting a rank. It's about building such a extensive family, such a massive platform globally on an international global level of raising leaders up and making real changes in people's lives. As our founder Alexia says, it's about the stories that drive him. As long as stories, and for us, I think it's the same, for me rather, it's the same thing, right? Where it's like hearing people's lives change. Maybe they're in a difficult situation at their job or their work or their tough finances. They feel stuck. They feel like, and they come here and they grow and they become more and they achieve financial freedom. Imagine doing that times 1,000. That's what's going to happen as we achieve that mission of 1 million people strong. So very, very exciting, very motivating, and what a great place to be.
Yeah. So do you think that we're going to help to repair and restore the industry?
100%. And that was actually something that was one of the factors of me joining. It's just, it seems absurd thinking about it when I looked at where I was in life, my current like surroundings, thinking I want to, change the industry. But it was like, it was, and then you coming along made it so much more clear. It seemed like, oh, that's how it's going to happen. I knew it was there, but I didn't have the bridge in my mind to make it happen. You come along, it's like, now I can see how it's going to happen. And so that's where you came along. But yeah, it's incredibly, it's motivating and yeah, to repair and restore the energy to really to get it back to what it's all about. It's about relationships, in an age of technology and digitalization and AI and all the things, which is fine, right? There's a place for all of that. We've lost the art of relationship. We've lost the art of human connection. And that's the thing that keeps us happy and fulfilled and, as a human being. It's the core of how we were created, to have those interpersonal relationships, and to build an organization that is centered around that, that is centered around relationships, that is centered around real, authentic conversations, that is centered around forming bonds of trust with people, you know. And for some of us that have been around for a while, we're like, well, that's kind of basic stuff. Well, it's like the lost art, you know. People aren't doing that, and when they come here and they get that, it's going to separate us. And what I want to do by having the level of success that I know that you and I have talked about that we want to do, that's going to grab the attention of, wow, they're doing it differently. And look at the success that they're having. You know, other people will then lock in and say, you know what, let's go back to what this is all about. You know, yes, utilizing technology for sure, because it's amazing, but not getting away from the core principles of building those real relationships and focusing on growth that this thing was formed, you know, from the first place.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing that needs to be accomplished in our industry right now, because there's been so much change
Mm,
and so much transition. I mean, it's a huge transition right now. So there's a big migration of just distributors going
yes.
everywhere and anywhere, and
Yeah.
not going anywhere and just kind of hermiting away like I was for 5 years. Um, so I think that this is a beautiful place for all of us to come and be, because we are fostering these incredible relationships and this safe space. I love that, like through the power hours and through these team win trainings and all the different things that we're doing, the three-way calls, the Zooms that we're doing, every day,
Yeah.
every single day,
Every
we
day.
have something going on that any person can jump on and feel like they belong, feel like a safe space is created for them to be themselves. To
Absolutely.
me, it's the most beautiful culture
Yeah.
we can create. Like, it's golden. It's golden. And I love it so much. I love it so much. It feels so unique to and different than how I built before. Did you build that when you were in your last company? I didn't build it
Um,
the same way. It's very
we
different this time around.
Yeah, this is definitely, this is different. I mean, I think so. I've built in two previous companies before, and each time I felt like was a stepping stone towards the level of culture that we have. I mean, I can unequivocally say that never had a culture like this before. This is definitely at a different level. Um, Tried to do things. I was in a previous company with John Laster, who you and I both know, and so we did put an emphasis on growth and relationships. But it was like two young guys trying to figure it out, you know? And I feel like it's evolved, I should say, to this point now where it's like I'm just more clear and more certain than I've ever been in my entire career of what it takes to have that thing that attracts and retains people. And just knowing that, it just makes it's just so energizing and motivating, if that's even the right word. So much drive, because it's like I know what we need to do. Now it's just a matter of us doing it.
Yeah, it's so funny because every time I get ready to like think about a question I'm going to ask you, you answer it. So knowing that, so what do you hope to
You're
accomplish
doing a
then?
great job with this interview. I mean, this is
Yeah, right
exactly how you
here.
planned it, right? You interview
Yourself.
me.
I don't
Perfect. It's
You're
perfect.
interviewing yourself. So knowing that, okay, knowing that this feels different to you, obviously, and you've scaled it up. What do you hope to accomplish? Like, what do you like? What's the big end game? Like, what do you hope to accomplish in the industry? And here at this company.
As I kind of alluded to or mentioned previously, it's building something so great and so substantial, that affects so many people, that it makes it becomes so large that it has to change. We're not able to not notice it. It's like the phone industry, what Apple's done to it. Like you just can't ignore it. It's just too big. Or what it's like saying, direct commerce or mail, whatever you want to call it, mail commerce, and trying to ignore Amazon. You can't do it. They're just too big. So create something, do it the right way, and create something so big that others take notice, and that we can then teach and train others to make this shift of positivity and good and bring out the best of what this industry has to offer. I think too, on a within that level, to create environments and platforms that can really bring people together. Because I see us having leaders in Asia, I see us having leaders in Africa, all around the US, and having team win events like leadership retreats where we bring in our leaders from around the world to learn and to grow together, but more than anything, just to connect and form these bonds that would never happen. So and so from Arkansas meeting with, Queen Princess Ife in Nigeria, and they forming a relationship with Veronica, or team from Austin, Texas, meeting these people from Thailand. Like, it could be so beautiful and so enriching to people's lives. And what happens is then it raises everybody up. And then the effects of that, it carries on to their families, makes their families better. It becomes generational. Like, it just, the positive magnitude of what's going to happen by us accomplishing this is just incredible. And so whenever I feel, oh man, this is tough, it's kind of stuck, or feeling that resistance, or going through the grind, whatever it is, right? Because that's part of the battle. Every day you got to fight something. It's like when I think about the end game, it's like it makes it worth it. It's like, let's just keep pushing, because where we're going to go, we're going to look back and say, wow, what a thing that we accomplished.
What a great interview today. I'm so glad I got to
You did
interview
great,
you.
Lisa. This has worked out perfectly. Yeah, this is great.
What a
No,
great
no, seriously,
interview.
good job.
I'm so excited we got to talk today. I think this is good. I think the team is going to appreciate this. And it's good that we're documenting this. We needed to document like our first interview.
Yeah, this is like a little journal. We should probably do this like periodically, like every month or every quarter or something, and just like how we're going along the way, because this is interesting. There's this right now, it's exciting. There's people coming on board. We're seeing people get outside of their comfort zone. Um, People are stretching, people are growing, people are building, they're bringing on new customers, they're bringing on new distributors, they're utilizing the cultural systems that we have in place, like the power hours and like our team calls, and we're gelling well with with corporate and with our sponsor Joe Giuliano. And I just feel like everybody's like is stepping up in their game. And as you always talk about the word collective. You say that a lot. It's like, as people do these things and they step out and they do it collectively, that's when the whole tide rises.
Right.
And it becomes this unstoppable force. And I feel like we're right on the precipice of doing some really special things.
For sure. It's like this big tsunami that's coming
Yeah.
through. We're not going to be able to
We
stop
can
it.
feel it. We can smell it. It's there. It's coming. It's tingly. It's like it's just right. The pressure. It's like, oh wow. It's like boom. Here it comes. And we're in a very unique period right now. In the development of this team, this organization. It's just it's a great time to be alive and to be building.
Yeah, this is day 27. Also, I remind you of our 90-day run.
Yeah.
So shout out to Eric Worre. I'm sure I'm going
Shout
to
out to you, Eric. Eric, someday you'll be interviewing us, probably in the relatively near future.
So
Lisa and I will be on your show, and we'll say thank you, Eric. But yeah, Eric,
So
I've learned a lot from you. I know Lisa has too. It's been great over the years. So thanks for your leadership, and continue to do what you do, pouring into others in this industry, because what a great place to land.
yeah. So day 27 of this 90-day run. And I do feel like that tide is rising. It's really amazing. I love when you say like we all rise together, because I can
Yes.
feel it literally in my ethos. And
Yeah.
even being in so much personal transition in my own personal life, with the move and just everything coming up. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm like in love with my future and excited about its outcome, and just looking forward to all the growth.
I'll speak into that for just a quick minute. I know we got to jump, but
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things I want people to look back at. Not when they see Lisa as a diamond with the tens of thousands of people in her organization, but right now she's showing up. She's working tremendously, doing these daily power hours, always available for Zooms I need with Africa, doing stuff with her teams in Asia. She just launched a leader in the Philippines, always doing these things, always available, just go, 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 incessant work ethic. And she's doing it while she's got some craziness going on in her life. I mean, like, what's more unsettling than not having a place to live and trying to figure that out? Like, it's just craziness. And so I want to commend you, Lisa, for your leadership and showing up as you do each and every day, even though you're going through this stuff. And that's very, very commendable. And I think that's relatable for a lot of people that have already joined or that will be joining down the road by the time they watch this. It's like you yourself are going through something and you're still choosing to do moves every day to win. regardless of where you are in life, regardless of your circumstance. I think about where I was when I first started, right? I mean, not a great environment. Whatever you are in life, it doesn't matter. If you make a decision and you plug in and you allow yourself to get involved in this culture that we have created, and you're willing to get a little uncomfortable and stretch yourself a little bit, and also just allow yourself to feel loved and to be accepted for who you are, and to start this incredibly exciting journey of growth day by day, you can completely change your life. Completely change your life. And that ultimately is what it's all about. It's helping people change their lives in a positive way.
It really is true. 1 year in this industry, 1 year, when you say dedicate 1 year, you asked me to dedicate 1 year to you in this business. And I know you've asked other people to dedicate a year. I think a year can make a tremendous difference in this business. When you ask
So
people
much.
to commit themselves to 1 year in this business, and I want to be a woman of my word. So when I say I'm going to commit to a year, I'm going to commit to a year.
You got
I
against
think
all
a lot,
every reason to back out. But like, and again,
yeah.
success leaves clues, greatness leaves clues. Follow the people that are doing big things and study them, because they'll show you why. And this is a great example, is staying committed to the process regardless of what else is going on. So commend you for that.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
You.
Great interview. This is awesome. We made it.
This is a great
Episode 1 of many, folks. Enjoy. Who knows where I'll be next time we do this? Who knows? I mean, in reality, who knows where Lisa's going to be in real life too? I mean, you just never know.
I mean, I could be in Costa Rica. I could be
You
in
could be
Africa.
for
If
real.
I go to Africa, I may not come back. I
Yeah, I
mean,
know. We need to hold off on that for a little bit more time. So,
if I go to the
locked and
Philippines, I
loaded.
may not come back.
All right.
Although I don't know. I think I would like Africa more than the Philippines. The Philippines is kind of smoggy. Is it smoggy in Africa? Because it's very
I mean,
smoggy in the Philippines.
I'm biased because Africa is my favorite place in the world.
Is
So,
it really?
oh yeah.
Well, I hopefully I'm going to get that chance to go to Zanzibar and
Yes,
Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria in September. We'll see. You got to get through this
absolutely.
90-day run, and we're doing a great job. So, and
Yeah,
you're
we
helping
are.
us so much. So thank you for all that you do for Team Win. Thank you for just being on this interview today. You've been amazing, and you pretty much interviewed yourself. So, but it's been
You've
great.
been amazing too. So thank you, partner. This is great. Love this journey with you. And we'll catch you next time, folks. Thanks so much.
Stop this recording.
What do you stop recording now?
Oh my